Okay, so this is a transaction.
This man is calling me a slave again. This man is calling me a slave again.
Is he my slave?
He's your master.
I'm his master.
Why are you listening to him? Yeah, of course.
For this Muslim, she has to be my slave. And why should she be my slave?
Because you are using her.
Am I using her?
He's not using me.
Maybe she's using me.
No, you.
This is her research, not mine. Continue on.
So, there's a lot of places where Muslims have told me that Muhammad told Muslims to treat his slaves kindly. Kindly, this is what he said in some places. But let's look at how he actually treated them. Let's see how Muhammad treated his slaves. We're looking at Abu Dawood, book 4, number 1814. Narrated Asma bin Abu Bakr. We came out performing Hajj along with the Apostle of Allah. And when we reached Al-Raj, the Apostle of Allah alighted, and then we also alighted. Aisha sat beside the Apostle of Allah, and I sat beside my father, Abu Bakr. The equipment and personal effects of Abu Bakr and the Apostle of Allah were placed with Abu Bakr's slave on a camel. So the property of Abu Bakr and Muhammad was placed with the slave. Abu Bakr was sitting and waiting for his arrival, the slave's arrival. He arrived, the slave arrived.
And he had no camel.
He had no camel with him. He had no camel with him. So
where is your camel?
Where is your camel? This is the question.
What did the slave say?
The slave said, I lost it last night. And then Abu Bakr says, there was only one camel, and even that you lost. He then began to beat him while the Apostle of Allah was smiling.
This is what Muhammad said. Look at this man who is in the sacred state. What is he doing? So he was actually smiling.
Muhammad was smiling while the slave was being beaten.
He allowed the slave to be beaten.
Muhammad didn't stop it.
Is that the example that we want today?
No.
Is Muhammad a good example for the 21st century?
No.
Not at all. And yet that's exactly what we're reading here.
That is the Bible.
Oh, I can't wait to get to the Bible. We're going to have to wait a little bit though, okay?
You asked me a question, you're not interested in the answer.
It's so sad to watch people like this operate. I mean, these people are representing a faith. The narration in question is clearly a gentle reprimand against beating slaves. To twist this and make out that the Prophet is enjoying watching slaves being beaten is just abandoning all senses of fairness and intellectual honesty. Just looking at the text, there's actually two narrations of the same event as far as I could find. One of them is weak. It doesn't mention that the Prophet smiled. The one which these individuals cited is the sounder narration. However, the key point here is that it clearly looks like a gentle rebuke. How these two missed this is just, well, it's just beyond me. The pertinent part of the hadith in Arabic states, "Unzuru ila hadha al-muhrim ma yasna' wa yabtasim." The Prophet is using the imperative plural for look. So the Prophet is teaching everybody around him a lesson here. He says, look at this muhrim. Now, this is important. That's a person who is performing pilgrimage and is meant to be even more mindful of God, even more God conscious. And he says, what is this? What is he doing? What's this muhrim doing? So he's smiling and saying, what's he doing? It's a gentle rebuke. And he's teaching the audience that this is not the behavior of a muhrim. Another teaching we can glean from this is, upon saying something that is undesirable whilst we're on pilgrimage, rather than rebuking somebody really harshly, just reprimand them gently. Okay, that's not another message I get from that. In fact, a lot of us reprimand people in this way in everyday life. Nobody thinks twice. Nobody misconstrues it, at least. Okay? If you're walking down the street, just imagine this. You're walking down the street, say Oxford Street, with a few friends, and one of your friends drops some litter. What do? You smile point at him and say, "What are you doing?" That's a gentle reprimand. Nobody is going to think that you want that person to drop more litter. Everybody knows, right, that you're trying to make that person cognizant of their mistake, right? To represent it as you approving of dropping litter is just, well, it's ridiculous. In fact, this type of mischaracterization of the Prophet as somebody who enjoys beating slaves, it's in contradiction to the Quran itself. The Quran, chapter 4:36, teaches people to do good to the slaves. In addition, we can see through clear statements of the Prophet that he certainly did not enjoy watching slaves being beaten or anything like that. The Prophet said the expiation for beating or slapping a slave on the face for something he has not done is to set him free. And in this one, it states, "I heard Allah's Messenger say, he who slaps his slave or beats him, the expiation for it is that he should be set free." Abu Masud said, "I was beating a slave of mine when I heard a voice behind me. Know, Abu Masud, that Allah is able to call you to account for this slave." I turned around and there was the Messenger of Allah. May Allah bless him and grant him peace. I said, "Messenger of Allah, he is free for the sake of Allah." He said, "If you had not done this," he said, "if you had not done that, the fire would have touched you, or the fire would have burned you."
That is the
Oh,
Bible.
I can't wait to get to the Bible. We're going to have to wait a little bit, though, okay?
Exodus 21:20-21 gives instruction on how to beat your slaves. If a man beats his male or female slave with a rod and the slave dies as a direct result, he must be punished, but he is not to be punished if the slave gets up after a day or two, since the slave is his property. You can thrash them within inches of their lives, but make sure you don't directly kill them.
That is the Bible.
Oh, I can't wait to get to the Bible. We're going to have to wait a little bit, though, okay?